Nike have entered the sneaker loafer chat. People are really out here pulling blades out over the Air Jordan 14 Ferraris. And we've had some on-foot looks at, bro, one of the most exciting sneakers of the entire year for me anyway, man, the Jordan 5 Tokios. We've got all of these stories and plenty more to catch up on in today's sneaker news updates. Before we get into the news, let's do a quick little release recap of what went down today. We had the release of the Nike Total 93 SP. This is the dot swoosh Nike football shoe that is inspired by something that I'm sure a lot of us out there can relate to. It's inspired by people that rage quit at FIFA. How many times have you been playing your mates when they get an absolute lucky goal to win the game? Completely unjustified, you tend to do everything but smash the controller, or in some cases, absolutely smash the controller, and that is what has inspired this shoe here. Now we're in the middle of this boots only summer, this football shoe trend that has absolutely taken over, and so these have suitably sold out and are currently reselling for a little bit over the retail price point. Right, let's get into the news, and let's start off with some of the dramas surrounding the Air Jordan 14 Ferrari. It did sell out instantaneously. You can let me know if you guys got a dub or an L on this particular release, but a couple of videos have gone viral with the release, including this one here, which just shows a little bit of a stampede for the Foot Locker first come first serve release. But this other video has been going viral because, man, one of the guys actually pulls a knife on this other guy while they're in line. I mean, the sad thing about this exchange is that, yeah, you've got fathers and daughters in the line. People are just trying to cop the kicks. And then this whole situation escalates to the point where bro here pulls out a knife. And I think the guy in the green top was giving it all the big man until he ended up calling the cops on bro. And then, yeah, the guy got apprehended. So I think the Ferrari around the shoes was a little bit off to the side. This whole thing around the knife centers on these two dudes having a little bit of a, should we say, disagreement. So moving on to the NBA Finals, where we saw Little Yachty decked out in a pair of the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Converse signature shoes, the Shai 1s. Now, we're in the middle of the NBA Finals. It's a great series. We've had some really close games and some unbelievable performances, and both of the top players for each team have got their debut signature shoes on feet. You would have thought creating the perfect conditions to be able to sell a whole heap of product, but neither of these shoes are available, bringing into question what are the marketing teams up to for these respective brands. Surely you want to be capitalizing on the hype of the NBA Finals to sell some shoes. By the time these do release to the public, people are going to have forgotten about the finals, but obviously the lack of availability to you and me has not prevented people like Little Yachty getting their pairs. He's been rocking them courtside, as you can see here. I think they look pretty good on feet, man. They look pretty comfortable. Nike have decided to enter into the sneaker loafer chat with these right here. These are called the Air Max Phenomena, and these have been designed by Serena Williams' design crew, which is a pretty cool touch. So the rumors I'm hearing is that they are going to be extremely limited, and also that they are going to be coming out exclusively in women's sizing. And if you look at the aesthetic, we've got an all black colorway here, really nice looking textured pebbled leather on the upper. They also feature the Air Max unit as well as a bit of 3M action as well. And suffice to say, these have been getting roasted. Everybody has been clowning on Nike for joining the loafer party late, because I guess there's a perception out there among sneakerheads that the sneaker loafer trend has just been a fleeting thing that has already been and kind of gone, and the people that have done it the best so far have been New Balance, who really broke these things onto the scene last year and have been making it their thing, you know, to a certain extent. Obviously other brands have gotten into it as well, like Hooker, as well as Vans, as well as a few other brands. I've even picked up a pair as well for a wedding coming up, because I don't want to wear actual sneakers and I don't want to wear dress shoes. So sneaker dress shoes, boom, right in the middle. We've done it. I might bring you guys a video on my thoughts around that pair. But anyway, the fact that people are accusing Nike of being completely late to the party is a little bit misinformed, because Nike are like the OG sneaker loafer brand, going all the way back to 1982 with this pair here, the Vagabonds. Man, I mean, bro, 1982. You guys might also remember a few years ago, before this whole sneaker loafer stuff went off, they did the the Balsa, which is the 6.0, which, to be fair, came out in some pretty crappy colorways but are available online. They also had the collaboration with Cole Haan with the Verdana slip-ons. So it's not like Nike are completely estranged to the whole sneaker loafer phenomenon. It's almost a little bit surprising that as soon as this trend popped off, they didn't go into the archives and then resurrect one of these pairs like the Vagabonds, just to remind everybody that they've been on it since day dot. But yeah, Martine Rose has debuted the next set of Nike Shocks, which are pretty much like the first set of Shocks that she did, but with some different colorway action. We've just got like a brief glimpse here to look at with this video, featuring some pairs during a recent runway show. Now, it's only been a couple of days since we had the Jed A6 collaboration on the Gel Kayano 14, which are already reselling for a whole bunch of money to a lot of people's chagrins, given the GR nature of the colorway, but they're already are plans for another Jed collab to release like imminently in a couple of weeks time, man. They are busy over there at JJJJ Jed HHQ, man. This time on the Gel Quantum 360. This is the June 26th release date. We've only got this one colorway to look at, which is a little bit obscured in the promo imagery, but this is a look at the actual model, which, mate, this looks like it could be the Jed colorway right here. Right, we've had our first look at one of the most overrated sneakers of all time that is set to make a big comeback later on this year, Black Friday. It's the Black Cat 4s. This time they're coming out with the Nike Air branding on the back, which does separate them apart from the previous iterations we've seen. Let's not forget, man, nobody was really checking for these back in 2020. Only the real ones that were legit into this shoe were checking for these in 2020. These things sat around, and then obviously when the sneaker market exploded and the Jordan 4 hype took off, this was probably the one shoe, the one Jordan 4 that just got completely overinflated in value in the markets. And they've still held on to their value to a large extent. Prices as of the end of last month were still climbing close to $1,000 USD. For pairs on StockX. Now, is the hype going to be really high for these? I do think there's going to be really strong demand, because this is, you know, one of the Air Jordan 4s that most people want to get their hands on, if not for the colorway, just for the residual hype that seems to be lingering around on this shoe post Air Jordan 4 hype era. In another colorway of the Nike GT Future, the Wlays, which we still don't have any release date information on to this point, which is, I don't know, man, getting a little bit like, yeah, bro, we're a bit over it now. Like, we've seen so many different colorways. Your boy Wlays been rocking them all year. Like, once basketball season's over, they might give us a release date, at which point people are going to be like, nah, man, like, what am I going to do with these? Got this all red colorway, which would have been completely valid 2012, 2013. You guys remember when the all red shoes were doing their thing? Bro, these would have gone hard back then. Nowadays, probably not so much, but yeah, it's still pretty clean. On foots of the Tokyo 5s. Not gonna lie, I wasn't surprised that this retro was announced, because obviously Nike are going into the vault, but I am still nonetheless really happy to see these come out, and I'm stoked to see them come out with the yellow toe as well. I think that's a good way to separate these apart from the original retros, which means those originals will still retain a little bit of specialness about them, which is good for the collectors out there. And these on foots, bro, these look clean, man. Honestly, would I take these over the grapes? I would, man. Had the official retailer images of the Jordan 1 High OG shattered backboards. Now, these things aren't actually that far away. They're coming out on August the 23rd, full family sizing. And I've seen some interesting takes out there on this particular shoe, with some people giving the hot take that this pair, the 2025 pair, is even better than the 2015 pair, both materially and structurally. And I did see some comparison pics out there situating the 2015s next to the 2025s, where it was kind of pretty evident to see what bro was talking about. I couldn't dig up that picture because I forgot where I'd seen it. But if we just focus in on the retailer images, you've got the packaging, which I think is a nice touch with the shattered glass on the box. You've got the two sets of laces, the black as well as the orange, and the shape does look good. The materials remain to be seen, really, to what extent they're better or even on par with the 2015s. Yeah, my hot take on these is that these are going to sit. These are gonna brick. These are gonna be easy to cop. And I think that is absolutely brilliant, because outside of the original colorways of the Jordan 1 High, I think this is probably the best. We've had another colorway of the Nike SB Air Force 1 Low. announced. Expected to release summer next year. This particular colorway is in a light all wood brown. We have a SKU code as well, so these are in the pipelines. We've got this mock-up here to look at, which kind of looks a little bit like the linens that we've received in recent times. These aren't really serving up that much to the imagination, but it's going to be interesting to see how they make the tooling work and whether or not they lighten the Air Force One, or I don't know, maybe like reduce the thickness of the midsole. I'm not sure about the tooling or whether or not that even matters, to be honest. But yeah, this colorway though, the mock-ups, they do look good, although they look a bit close to the linens, isn't it? Radio, to finish off, let's just quickly go over a couple of the sneakers that you guys might want to keep an eye out for before the weekend. On the 20th, on the Patta website, you've got the release of the Air Max 90 Waves in both the blue colorway and the Vault colorway. Sneakers app release is going down next week on the 23rd. So if you miss out on Patta, then you can still come up next week on the Nike Sneakers app. But the big release of the week arguably has to be the Jordan 5 Grapes. Now there are some raffles out there available for you guys to jump into now if you wanted to secure a pair. Are these going to sell out or not? I think these are going to be popular. I haven't seen any like numbers floating around out there, so it's kind of difficult to predict. For the OGs out there, for the collectors, the Jordan heads, this one is going to be a no-brainer cop. So good luck to you if you are going for those. And that about does us for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for messing with the content. Do me a favor and go and drop me a follow on my second channel, which is all about golf. And I will see you guys on the next video coming up very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care for now, and peace.